Welcome to lesson 46 of your interactive notes. You will need your highlighter as well as your pencil today. So lesson 46, multiplying whole numbers to unit fractions, is on pages 41 and 42. Alright, so here, lesson 46, our content objective for 4th grade NF, numbers and operations fractions, B.4a. I can multiply a unit fraction by a whole number. Language objective, I can use vocabulary related to fractions to communicate how to multiply a unit fraction by a whole number. Social objective, I can work with others to create models to prove how to multiply a unit fraction by a whole number. So here we're going to be using models. That's what this says. I know it's not very clear, but it does say using models. Here we have 3 different whole units, and they're cut into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces each. So they're cut into fifths. It says use a model to show 3 times 1/5. So when you're multiplying, that means we have 3 1/5s that we're joining together. We're joining together equal amounts. So first, 1 out of 5, that's 1/5. Another 1 out of 5, so there's 1/5. Now there's 2 of them, and I need 3 groups, so I only have 2. I need 1 more. So here's my 1 group of 1/5, 2 groups of 1/5, 3 groups of 1/5. How many fifths are shaded in? There are 3 fifths shaded in. 1/5, 2/5, 3/5. We could also put these 3 units in 1 here and see that 3 fifths are shaded in. So 3 times 1/5 equals 3/5. I know this is very tiny and light, but that's what it says. 3 times 1/5 equals 3/5. So here, now we're going to look at 8 times 1/3. So each of these is cut into 3 pieces, so they're cut into thirds. But unlike this one where it had the unit fractions, we're going to just keep building on what we have here. So it says that we want to have 8 of them. So here's 1/3. That's my first one. 1/3. And I need 8 that I'm joining together. So there's 2. Another 1/3 would be 3. Another 1/3 would be 4. And we're trying to get to 8 of them. Here's another 1/3. So that is 5. Another 1/3. is 6. Another 1/3 is 7. And my last 1/3 is 8. So how many thirds are shaded in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 thirds. Or we have 1, 2 whole circles and 2 thirds. So 8 1/3 is 8 thirds, or 2 and 2 thirds. So you could do it on separate models, or you could continue in the same model until all the pieces are represented. Okay, so on this one, it says use a model to show 7 times 1/4. So we have to create our own model. I'm going to use a square because those are pretty easy to cut into fourths. Cut half this way and half this way. So I need 7 of them. So here's my first one. My second one. My third one. My fourth one. I need 7. I only have 4, so I need to make another model. Cut into 4 pieces. So there's my 5th fourth. Six fourths. And then here's the last one. There's 7. So there's my model. It was cut into 4 equal pieces or fourths, also called quarters. And I represented 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those fourths. How many fourths are shaded in? 7 fourths, or 1 whole and 3 fourths. So this is how you could use our visual models in rectangles and squares, cut into those different units, but we can also use number lines. So below, we're going to look at using number lines. Here it says to show 6 1/3 on the number line below. So first thing we have to do is actually label our number line. So we always start at 0. We haven't taken any spaces. This first one I'm going to call 1/3. And then next would be 2/3. Next would be 3/3, or 1 whole. Next would be 4/3, or 1 and 1/3. And we have 1 and 2/3. 1 and 3/3, or 2. 2 and 1/3. Now we always put our label right under the line because that's the end of the piece. That's how many pieces we have. 2 and 2/3. And then 2 and 3/3, or 3 whole. And then 3 and 1/3. So we want to represent 6 of them. So here's my first piece. That is the first one, 1/3. Then we do the next one, which would be 2/3. 3/3. 4/3. 5/3. And 6/3. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those thirds. Each of these from the 0 to the whole number is cut into 1, 2, 3 pieces. From the whole number to the whole number, 1, 2, 3 pieces. So each of these sections is cut into thirds, or 3 equal pieces. Like up here with our model. Each one's cut into 3 equal pieces. So we could represent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So 6/3, 6 groups of 1/3 is 6/3, or 2. Now we want to show 5 1/4 on the number line. We start at 0 because we haven't looked at any pieces yet. We get to the first piece, and it is 1/4. Next piece, 2/4. Next piece is 3/4. Next one is 4/4, or 1 whole. Next one is 1 1/4, because we've gone all the way up to 1, and then we have 1/4 more, 1/4 more. 1 2/4, 1 3/4, 1 4/4, or 2, 2 1/4, and then 2 2/4. Okay, so now we're going to show we've cut each of these from 0 to the whole number into 1, 2, 3, 4 equal pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4 equal pieces between the whole numbers. So we're representing our fourths. Now we need 5 of them. 5 groups of 1/4. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 is 1/4. 2 of them is 2/4. 3 of them is 3/4. 4 of them is 4/4, or 1 whole. And then 5 of them would be 5/4, or 1 1/4. So here's 5 groups of 1/4, or 5 times 1/4 joined together. Here it says show 7 1/2 on the number line below. So we're going to start at 0, and then 1/2, and then 2/2 would be 1. Then 1 1/2. 1 2/2 would be 2. Then 2 1/2. 2 1/2, and 1/2 is 3. 3 1/2. And then 4. 4 1/2. And then 5. So we need to represent 7 of these halves, because each of these from whole number to whole number is cut into 1, 2 pieces. 1, 2 pieces. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, cut into halves. So I need to show 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 1 piece here, 2 pieces here, 3 pieces here, 4 pieces here, 5 pieces here, 6 pieces here, and then 7. So here's our 7 groups of 1/2, or 7 halves. Also could be said as 3 whole and 1/2. Alright, so that's it for part 1. Let's go ahead and turn it over and start part 2 with our 3 column notes.